justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day. Through the soul of the Prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. First, all rise, giving perfect and infinite praises to Allah, the Father of love, the Father of truth, peace, freedom, the Father of justice. Honors to all prophets, ones I haven't mentioned, all major prophets, minor prophets. Major prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius, sent to the four corners of the world, to all nations. Honors to our brother man, our prophet, our Jesus return, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to his harbinger, the John the Baptist return, Brother Marcus Messiah Garvey Bay. Honors to the Moorish Science of America that was founded by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, past, present, future leaders. Honors to the Marcus Garvey movement. Honors to the past leaders. Honors to all children, Moorish children, proclaimed or not proclaimed. Honors to everything that is Moorish. Today's show is called Freedom is Not Limited. This is going to be a long show because I have a lot that needs to be said upon my heart to the brothers and sisters out there who need this information, this affirmation. If you think being in America makes you an American, then you have been lied to. Beyond what you think, your freedom has been stripped from you. Your freedom is to go out there and get a so-called 9 to 5 or 5 to 9 or whatever the shift may be and live in a lifestyle luxury and chase. While you're doing the chasing, the powers that be is chasing your paycheck. The only way the powers that be is not going to chase your paycheck is if you do Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates, etc., etc. But at the end, you might have to suffer tax evasion. I want the brothers and sisters to understand that the conditions that we have to face upon on a daily basis is all based upon, orchestrated by the powers that be. So you have to have 3-course meals, and for an infant child that's a different story, but for an adult that's totally different. They tell you that you have to go get your high school diploma, your college degree. That's all good, but it's knowing how to utilize these degrees. It's good to have them in your possession, but it's knowing the uses thereof. And just like a pointer is just pointing, but a block of wood can do the same. And it's just pointing. So what is your purpose in life of being lied to that you have freedom? But yet and still, every time you get paid, your paycheck goes to somebody else. Your paycheck goes to rent. Your paycheck goes to that mortgage. That paycheck goes to elsewhere, wherever you desire to go to. But if you don't take care of your business, like they say in the 60s and 70s, your business will take care of you. In order to understand these different dynamics, we have to understand the condition. We have to understand who's in power, who makes the decisions, who turns you into a second-class citizen, who made you the 14th Amendment citizen, who called you the Negro, Black, and Colored, who called you the Latino, who called you Chicano, who called you Hispanic, who called you all these things, these names that allude to slavery that has been put upon you by the mark of the beast. That mark of the beast is the same one who came out the Caucasus Mountains. The ones who are the Rothschild, Rockefeller, Kennedy, Bundy, the list goes on, etc., etc. I'm not the one to tell you how it's got to be, but you must live and learn, as the song by Joe Public. It's one of my favorite hip-hop songs, Live and Learn. But if you about, like T.C. Carter, whatever his name is, the guy who played on Living Single, Kyle Barker, the one who played Living Large, an old 90s movie, you have to sacrifice yourself to commit some type of extortion, to live a specific lifestyle in order for you to so-called make it, but all in all, you're losing yourself. You're losing yourself in the things of companionship. You're losing yourself in trying to be the better version of yourself, that the best version you can be. You can't be the better version of yourself if you are being a slave to sin. That sin is not knowing the law and the law of the land and what the law can do to protect you, but yet still you are still surviving and itching and scratching. And you're roaming to and fro the earth, seeking whom you may devour, but then all of a sudden they're roaming to and fro seeking who they may devour you. You have to understand that freedom doesn't have limitation. It does not have a beginning. It doesn't have an end. It is not finite. It is infinite or infinite, whatever you want to call it. But it's the ongoing circle that keeps repeating itself. It's just like the circle of life in the Lion King. These things that we must understand, and we must strongly take into consideration, that we're not loving ourselves. We're making somebody else rich beyond the shadow of doubt of extortion and grandiosity, and putting yourself on a record as a second-class citizen, so that way you can be taxed to death. And if you don't follow their rituals or their things of their ideas and their 10 commandments that they want you to follow, but they don't honor it themselves, but they coming out here to kill, steal, and destroy, then that tells me that we're dealing with a demonic entity that has been developed by Satan himself. And the same ones who are the chosen people are the ones who suffer the Satanism. They take upon that Satanism, they gratify that Satanism, they take that Satanism and they protect it as their own. Just like they protected slave masters, just like they protected the 13 family bankers. Whatever the media tell you, you accept it. You don't look beyond the allegory because you don't have the thought of capacity to look upon the allegory. We have to start thinking, family. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught the Moorish Americans that if I can't save you, then no one can. But if I can save you, I'm sorry, I'll rephrase it. If I can't save you, then no one can. But if I can get you to think, you can save yourself. That's the whole point, is thinking. Now, the question you want to ask yourself is, why is it that on the ethnicity box, why does it say that the European has two ethnicities? He's Caucasian, but he only has white. Everyone else has more than 4 ethnicities. Why is that? Because he wants to play the game. Whether we know there's a checker flag in NASCAR or whatever car racing thing they are, that's the same checker flag that's on the Masonic Lodge. That's the same checker flag that's on the chessboard. There's all a connection. I see people walk around with tennis shoes with the chess black and white tiles. They don't know what they're getting themselves into. They have no idea. But it takes a sheik like your brother man Moore's life to acknowledge these signs and symbols and acknowledge for what it truly is. But they're playing a game called maritime law. But the question is, you're not operating under maritime law. You're operating under something else. That shows you no benefit and no purpose. When you start doing some thinking, when you start bettering your condition, when you start Learn to love instead of hate, instead of hating instead of love. And you say, no, I'm doing this, I'm hurting you because I love you. No, love doesn't hurt. It's just that in order to straighten up and get some spine and act right, you have to be disciplined. You have to be chastised. That's what you have to be. You have to be chastised not only by Allah, but you have to be chastised by mama and papa. Spare the rod for the child. Because the child's running wild. This is not your average demonstration based upon some Johnny-come-lately hearsay demonstration, but we are taught not to be held accountable for our actions, but the consequences will definitely discipline us, whether the mother or father discipline us or not. You may be forced to do something, but you have a choice. But in order to survive in our lifespan of society of the United Snakes Corporation, or Snakes Corporation, you have to follow their rules. But the only way you cannot follow their rules is as long as your mom and your papa did not sign that document of live birth. Because that boat is contracting. It's loading up at the dock to get a report. This is the same thing that's happening since the beginning of the birth certificate, which was the 1930s. The only one who doesn't have a birth certificate is my grandfather. Born in the 1900s. And my grandmother, late 1920s. But you have to understand that you're born free if you're born in 1900s and 1920s and prior to that. You have to understand those things. But when you come into this bastard society of Roman Catholic, of Masons and Easter Stars and the Jewish community and all this other stuff, you're not living them for yourself. You're living to make the other people rich. Whether you want to accept this condition, whether you not want to accept this condition, the truth is the truth. Can a man be a Negro, black, colored, Afro-American, African-American, or Ethiopian? No. Why? Because man is made in the image and the likeness of our Father God, Allah. Yeah, shout out to Marie. Yeah, Heaven High, see you in the chat. Praise Allah. We need to understand why things are happening. Why the democracy seems to be so good, but you want to ignore the republic. The republic has a lot to do with the old republic, the Moorish rule. The Democratic Party represents the Edomite of Esau, the donkey, the asses, yes, the ass. Because that's what the Democratic Party act like. They act like asses. Make an ass out of them and then make an ass out of you and me. The ass is not a vulgar word. It's just that sometimes it's tolerable and sometimes it's not. But when we understand our conditions thereof, then we can somehow come to the conclusion of how our condition could be better. Not worse, but better. When we see what we must do, we must understand why we're doing what we're doing. When we are demonstrating love instead of hate, family, we know what to expect from ourselves, and we know what type of friendship to expect. And we understand that our brother man is under low vibration, low energy, it's best to Give him assistance, because if our brother's in adversity, assist him. I mean, you can do what you like, but at the end of the day, it's all about how you treat yourself and how you treat people. I mean, do you truly love people like you love yourself, like you say you do? Or you just saying it loosely because you feel like it? We all have a price to pay with our wrongdoings and our righteous doings. We have to take upon this day of Father's Day to acknowledge the fathers who did the best they could. Sometimes when children get old enough, they begin to see how hard it is to be an adult and being a father, being a mother. We see these things, we tend to try to cope with the situations and things in life. We gotta cope, but we can't hold it in all our life, because at the end, it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter how many packages you packed out at Amazon, how fast you pack groceries. Once you lose carnal flesh, that's pretty much it, whether you're gonna come back or you're not. Reincarnated, that is. But you have to be really, really understanding of what's really going on. There's a lot to take in, family. There's a lot to consume. You gotta do what's right in your mind. You can't walk around cooning, then you got black skin and red lipstick on. I mean, you can't really do those things anymore you used to do when you were a child growing up. I see the same people 27 years on the same block doing the same thing. Talking mess, not bettering themselves, wanting to make excuses, and things of that nature. But you gotta be the one to make for sure that you have a goal and you have some type of plan. I mean, I know I do. We all gotta have some accountability for our actions. Now the question is, how you gonna work this situation out, family? As I've been sitting down doing some thinking and observing, there's a lot of people who make a lot of excuses why they can't do nothing, but the people out there who go out there and make it happen, and be the best version of themselves, which is the most important thing in the world. When people want all this freedom, it tends to turn into catastrophe. They choose what they want, they choose what they like, they desire certain things, they desire a plus and hate it. Look what happened. I mean, these ones are here to turn and molest children out. Everything's about thinking, family. You got all these things going around, all these man-made diseases, and they're trying to kill the people off so they can take control of the situation. As they say, family, whatever you didn't do today, do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. We are in recycled time. 7 days a week just doesn't cut it anymore. We have to truly decide on what we're going to do in life. If we don't treat each other right, who's going to trust us? If everything comes out the mouth of hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, stuff, and everything that harms, then you're not going to make it. You have a certain amount of time frame to be. And after that, the doors will be closing. We all need each other in life. Because it says in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science of Miracle Circle 7, it says that no man lives unto himself. Everything in life is abided by course by every other living thing. There it is right there. And when we do things to make our situation better, it tends to reflect on how we act, how we talk, how we treat people. And when you're out here in the cares of the world as adults, you're reflecting on how you were raised and how you treat people. So you are a reflection of your family. You represent your family when you come out here in the world, whether you want to act right or you don't act right. It's about that time, right? You gotta be the one to make the change within yourself. Can't nobody do it for you. Life is all about decisions, yo. There's a lot of work that needs to be done within yourself. Now the question is, are you going to change it? Are you going to correct it? Trust me. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness can go a long way. But you can't have the pursuit of happiness if you're constantly being locked down in society. Giving y'all something to think about, family. I really truly am. All I can say to you all is peace and love. Islam. Honest to all the fathers, grandfathers, etc., who've done a good work, whose lifespan was cut short. Honest to my grandmother, shall I say, Islam, I stand correct. Honest to my grandfathers, every last one. Honest to my father. The father is the helper giver of life. But at the end of the day, best to honor thy father and thy mother. There's only so much you can do, family. Every day is going to be something different. But just because you have a bad moment in the day doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that you're being sent through the chamber of life to be tested on how you're going to react to the situation. That's all part of the plan. You start understanding and recognize the situation. Everything will fall into place. So, you guys take care of yourselves. Honest to everybody in the chat. Honest to everybody who is listening. Honest to everybody who just came on the show. and heard me speak live. Honest to you all. Islam, peace and love, family. Love you all out there. Islam, take care.